for the first question, would like to ask you, sir. I'd like to ask you, sir. Please tell us your ambition as a presidential candidate, how you've been able, like what inspired you to, come out and say you want to be the president of Nigeria. Do you have so much love for this country, or is there something else that is inspiring your interest in being the president of Nigeria? Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you for having me, and thank you for those who are in the studio with us and those who are watching from all over the world virtually. I have said it repeatedly that I hated politics. I used to look like everybody who probably is watching me today, the person or personality or character referred to as a politician, because for me it is a way of saying somebody is dishonest, a liar, a dissembler, an untrustworthy person. So I stayed away from what is known as partisan politics for a very long time. Even though I was one of the young people who fought for democracy, I never voted in an election until the year 2019 when I ran for office as president. I didn't have any voters cards because I just can't imagine myself going to a polling unit to vote for a guy who I know will steal the money that belongs to me or generations yet unborn. But I realized, having done every other thing in my life, I've been an activist before, I've been a journalist, I have traveled extensively, I've been a lecturer, teacher, both in primary school, secondary school. I taught before in the technical college in Yule Adamase when I was in NYSC. I've been a broadcaster, and so I've done it all. Then I came to the conclusion that without good people occupying political positions, there's no how you can change society just by shouting on the sidelines. But my interest in going there is not to join them because I can't beat them. I wanted to beat them so that I don't have to join them in doing what is wrong in the country. So that was the reason why in 2018, when I started the aspiration to be president, I couldn't find a political party. Even at that time, there were 79 political parties in Nigeria. No one of them was willing to accept me, because each time I walk into their secretariat or headquarters, I mention my name, they say, this is my first. They will say that you don't have money to give us. Secondly, they say you put us into trouble. And then thirdly, you discover most of the political parties were just briefcase parties created by the major political parties. They're just using them for, what they call special purpose vehicles, SPVs. You guys are aware of that now. So we then went underground and registered the AAC in 2018, August. It became a political party. I ran under the same party in 2018 and 2019. We ran some of the cleanest campaigns you can ever imagine in the history of this country. Traveled everywhere in the country. I and several others who are here traveled from Badagry to Sokoto. We didn't get to Maiduguri at that time because of Boko Haram. So the only two states we didn't get was like Borno and Yobe. But we went everywhere. We went to lakes, we went to river banks, we went to schools. In fact, we went to several places twice, because we first went with a strategy that was referred to then as a town hall meetings, where we sit down like this and hear young people, and old, poor, well, not necessarily rich people, because they didn't like us, ask questions, and we tell them what we want to do, and they ask those questions, and then we went for campaigns. So that was the best that has ever been done. We raised money transparently and openly. We crowdsourced, information. Our campaign document was something that came from crowdsourcing. We asked people, what do you want? What is your biggest problem? They said it's security. Some said it's power. And then we brought all of them together and I codenamed it Spicer Heat at that time. But when the elections came, as you all know, they did what they had to do. and INEC allocated votes. And we said at that time that INEC was allocating votes, but everybody was making fun of us. Of course, now, as you are aware, everybody has been served. Even people who were mocking us in 2019 got served in 2023 with the allocation of votes. And but just so that I can wrap up on your question, the question for me is that any country that wants to make progress must find leaders who have vision, who are driven, leaders who have exposure, who have character, who have integrity. You have leaders who are compassionate. And I'm not repeating what you hear from regular politicians. These are characteristics that you can find in my person and the people that I've worked with to run a political party. But to know that they were upset with us, as soon as the elections were over in 2019, they hijacked our party, sent somebody that was our secretary to hijack the party. So it took us about 3 years to retrieve the party back. And they just didn't hijack the party. They first and foremost arrested me as the chairman of the party and the founder, locked me up. It was where I was in lockup or lockdown, whichever way you want to describe it, that they hijacked the party completely. And I recognized that party. I started doing business with people who did not know anything about how the party was founded. And that was the next phase of the struggle. Because one of the things you hear regularly that they plant in the minds of people is that you claim that, Sowore is not experienced. And I've answered a million times, it is true. I'm not an experienced thief. I'm not an experienced murderer or kidnapper. Or the experience they claim they have, I know the kind of experience that I have. And I have never craved for those kind of experiences that are sabotaging the progress and development of our land. But this is Nigeria. That experienced people are governed for 65 years. Nigeria will be 65 by October 2025. Look at what experienced people have done to your country. They experienced thieves, experienced money launderers, experienced killers, experienced dishonest people, experienced deceptive people, experienced hypocrites, experienced bad guys. That's what they have done to this country. So the next phase of it was for us to, of course, not just make it a political statement, but also turn our struggle to a liberation struggle, which was why revolution now then became the battle cry after the election in 2019, and we've never stopped since that.
Yes, that has been very good. We've been seeing your work, sir, and we really appreciate. We're talking about experience now. We've been having hope in Nigeria, renewed hope for a long time now. And just like you said, people that criticizes you and said you don't have experience. But come to think of it, we've had experienced leaders for a couple of years now, and things seems to be going around in circles. So please tell us, what do you think they are doing that is quite different? Or what do you think they're doing wrong in the country?
Everything that could be wrong, or every wrong that could be done, is being carried out by the people who hijack power every election cycle. And this is why we don't mince words when we talk to Nigerians like this, or even non-Nigerians, because you'll be interested to know that a lot of people pay attention to what we are doing, whether they are Nigerians or not. And the reason is simple. Other Africans or black people want a better Nigeria so that they also can be elevated out of the disgrace that Nigeria has put the black race into. So they're doing everything wrong. What are the things they promise to do is where you should check them out. But you also must understand and be very clear that they have even passed the stage of making promises. They don't promise anything anymore, so that you don't hold them to anything. That's why they don't campaign. When they say they're organizing a campaign, it's always like a jamboree. They'll bring a comedian there, a musician, and then they will chant their party buzzwords, and then they're gone. They don't come for debates. They don't talk to the press. You imagine in 2019 and 2023, the major political parties could not present their candidates to go for debates. In 2023 was the worst. The man who is president, Bola Tinubu, did not even interview with his own TV station to tell Nigerians what he wants to do, because
Yes, we remember that.
truth is that he doesn't have anything to tell you. Maybe Atiku got one interview with Arise TV, but it's always like choreographed stage. And then the rest of us have things to say. They don't want you to come around. When you come around, they start hurrying you. Hey, don't say that to Mr. Sowore on our show. It's against the law. How can you say that it's against the law to speak truth to power? So that is where Nigeria is. But the good news is that in the course of this struggle, we have also developed alternative communication channels, mostly through social media. That's why you see now they have moved away from clamping down on people for physical protests, or clamping down on people who are using social media channels to make their lives miserable, to challenge power, speak truth to power, and talk about the social political issues affecting them. That's why you see that the police has abandoned every police work in the world. They're after TikTok. They're on Facebook, looking for somebody who will say something against them and go arrest the person. It was so ridiculous. Yesterday, I was reading something from that court tester, palace tester, who is PPRO. He's threatening the public, the people who are saying that police is going to use third-party insurance to be doing extortion. That if anybody is not careful, what is the business of police with insurance? You get my. The policemen who are checking insurance paper themselves are not insured. Yes. There's no, you can't meet a police car in Nigeria. If you stop police cars, say, do you have paper? They don't. Do they have insurance in their own patrol vehicles? Do Nigerians know that the Nigerian police vehicle are supposed to have insurance? Most Nigerians don't know this. Any vehicle that is on the highway should have insurance paper to be insured. Their own police vehicles are not insured. So if they are in an accident in their vehicles, the vehicle is not insured. Is not, if they have an accident with you, you can't get insurance from them. In fact, they will arrest you, even when they are wrong. So how do you start harassing people for insurance? I'm for insurance, but I don't want Nigerian police to have any more excuse to be extorting money on the highway. And this is their new device. If they are not saying that you should not have tinted glasses permit, now that one is not working. They have brought insurance again. There was the one they had CMR. Is that the same thing as insurance? So they're always devising new means to extort the public. And when the public cries out and say, look, we know what you're after, they start arresting and threatening and harassing people. So those are the kind of leaders you have. But those are not the kind of leaders we want. And we cannot have the leadership change in Nigeria by going through the process and system they have laid down. It's not possible. These people are not going to hand over power to the people who want to fix the country. When they are handing over power, if they do at all, it will be to their family members and cronies who will continue the stealing that has become the order of the day. One thing that is very clear about leadership in Nigeria today is that public service for a Nigerian leader is extracurricular activity. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you go to work, they are not there to serve you. If they serve you, it is like they did something out of their grief. They are there to steal. So that is why if they do any little thing, they will publicize it. You can imagine the joker in FCT, the comedian from Rivers State. Okay, he's commissioning 9-kilometer highway, the whole of this Abuja. They shut down Abuja. They had outriders everywhere. 9 kilometers. I thought they wanted to commission a 90-kilometer highway. 9 kilometers? Is that the reason why anybody should leave his house to go and commission a 9-kilometer highway? Because it is an anomaly for them to serve the people. So when they do it, they want you to praise them to high heavens that they even did anything at all. Otherwise, the basis for occupation of political office is plunder. Yes.
But there was a recent video that went viral where you mentioned Atiku now, and so I remembered you mentioned that you were waiting for Atiku to write a book, a forward of a book. So that was very funny and everything.
Oh, it was an interview I did with a satirical show where they asked me, will I write a book about losing elections? I said, it will be better if Atiku writes the forward for it. But since that interview, I've changed my mind. I think Atiku should write the book while the rest of us just write the epilogue, the last statements there. Because I think he's the most qualified person to write a book about losing elections. He has lost so many elections, and the man is not giving up. Yeah, I don't know who will give up first between Biya, Cameroon, or Atiku or Ubaka, but yeah, both Cameroonians anyway. So according to APC, they said Atiku is a Cameroonian and not Nigeria.
All right, that's a very funny one. So, do we have anybody that would want to ask our principal questions? If you have questions that you've not been able or you've been looking for an opportunity to ask it, here is your time. So please.
The hands up. And by the way, I never had any rehearsal with anybody.
Yeah, of course. We don't rehearse over here.
But what they can never escape is this revolution that is coming. And each time they defy it, they realize that when it comes back, it gets stronger. Because the revolution used to be in the mouth of a few people. But now, the poor people, the Talakawas in the north and south, are united in asking for a revolution in this country. And it happened in August last year with endbadgovernance, which shocked them to their mind. I've never seen it before. There are people in Kanu, in Jigawa, in Yobe, even Maiduguri, where Boko Haram is operational, there was a mass revolt there. And the same thing happened in Lagos. It happened in Rivers State. It happened in Oyo. It happened in this Abuja. In fact, the Abuja people were this close to making the revolution happen because they were already very close to the Eagle Square. So you see, these things are still rehearsals. As long as there's oppression in this land, corruption, there's denial of fundamental rights of our people, there's marginalization, there's discrimination against people based on their tribe or origin or orientation. Nobody, even the elites know it, that is just a matter of time. So that's my answer.